Good afternoon. Peter Hollier from the Rural Fire Service, Queensland Fire and Emergency Services, and I'm joined today by Deputy Commissioner Marcus from the Queensland Police Service. Thank you for the opportunity to come and get an update in relation to the fire activity that's happening right across the whole of the state. Today we've had 60 fires in total that have been managed across the state by Queensland Fire and Emergency Services and in conjunction with a number of our partners. As we stand here today, there's been a number of new ignitions that have arisen from certainly the thunderstorms that were experienced overnight last night, particularly in the southwestern part of the state, but also as late as this afternoon, where there's been some fresh outbreaks that have occurred again as a result of storm activity in the area. These include the Stanthorpe area, in and around Texas, Halliford, and certainly Mariba in the far north of the state. Whilst that, of course, is not in the area where the storms occurred, but that is a new outbreak that's occurred just this afternoon. And news just in is that there is a fire around Undulla, which is around the Bow Desert area, and that's just happening as we speak right now. As you can appreciate, with the change that has come through overnight and into today, that certainly had an impact on the Tara fire and the Millmerran fire. The Millmerran fire currently is still contained. However, the Tara fire is still being worked on containment. We haven't been able to contain that fire yet at this point in time. The change in wind direction from the south-south-east has put pressure on the north and the northeastern sides of those fires. And certainly the crews have worked tirelessly today with aircraft in the air to try and keep that fire within the containment lines that we've identified. Moving into tomorrow, the weather that we're looking for is that there will still be extreme fire danger in the western parts of the state. Whilst the changes come through, and currently I'm of the understanding there's some rain in the southeast corner as we speak, and the conditions will be somewhat cooler on the coast, the threat still remains in the western part of the state. So the situation that we're looking at, of course, will be strong winds, high temperatures, low humidities, which is not favourable for the conditions that we were looking for to assist us to contain certainly the Tara fire and the fire up into the Carnarvon area. Moving into Saturday, the weather is certainly favourable, with a slight easing of the conditions from extreme to high, and then on the coast it will drop back from high to moderate. So that's looking a lot more favourable for us along the coast as we move into Saturday and potentially into Sunday. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
With these new outbreaks, what is the risk to homes and to lives?
Okay, so the information that, and I just need to make you aware that some of the information's just to hand, so it's fresh for us. There's been a number of emergency warnings that have been put out as we speak, particularly in that Bow Desert area, and that one certainly is seek shelter, so there would be an impact to life and property there. There are certainly some challenges around the fire that they've got at Mariba. Again, the appropriate warnings have been issued. So, of course, as you can appreciate, with the conditions that we're experiencing, the dry nature that we have, there is a opportunity for a fire to threaten a property if it becomes a fast-moving fire in that location.
Is there any one particular area that's of real concern to crews right now?
Look, it's fair to say that right across the whole of the state is very dry. The wind conditions that we've been experiencing in particular are causing these fires to be wind-driven, and I'm sure you've seen the footage that we've all seen of the fire behaviour that we're experiencing across a whole range of the fires that we have. And the situation is that as we move into the warmer months, November in particular, into December, with higher temperatures, again, humidities will be low. If the wind continues, we will still have the fire behaviour that we're currently seeing, and that'll potentially go for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
When do you expect to be able to contain the Tara fire?
Certainly they were hoping to be able to put a containment line and have it contained by tomorrow. That'll very much depend on overnight conditions as to what happens in that area. They're still working to keep it within the containment lines they've identified. With the pressure that they've had after the change in wind direction, we'll certainly evaluate that overnight to see what tomorrow brings.
How many houses and structures have been lost thus far?
In the Tara fire, certainly 16 confirmed houses at this stage. As you can appreciate, it was difficult to get into the area where we've had damage done to trees, power lines. Some of those areas have been opened up again today, and we've had a number of crews on the ground doing the assessments we need to identify in relation to the houses that have been lost or the property that's been lost. So that information will come in. We'll have a look at that overnight. I'm hoping tomorrow we'll have a fresh update in relation to the total number following the work we're doing today.
What we're seeing across Queensland at the moment, how does that compare to what you've seen in this state before?
It does equal to a number of years, and certainly, as we flagged back in August, it will be quite an active fire season, in particular in the grassland area, and that's what we're seeing in the western parts of the state. However, the eastern coast is just as dry. So whilst we're looking forward to some storm rain this afternoon, a little bit of rain along the coast, that'll ease the conditions only for a very short period of time, but of course that'll dry out very rapidly. With the increase of temperatures, the risk will escalate again.
In those areas where people have been evacuated, I know after the fire it can actually be more dangerous if people go in there too quickly. How long do you expect those people who have been evacuated to be out of their homes?
So that's difficult to give you an estimation of time. So it's more about their safety when it is safe for them to return. So the firefighters, when they get access to that area, will go and do that assessment on how soon it is safe for them to return. It's always our intent to return people as soon as we can. That's always been our intent, and we're working as hard as we can to open up those areas, given that we're still fighting active fire on a number of parts of the Tara fire.
As you said, people have been working, your workers have been working incredibly hard. It's been a really big week. How big of a factor is fatigue at this stage?
Fatigue's certainly being managed, and over the last number of days we've increased the capacity that we've provided out to a number of those fires, and where we take opportunities to rest, get some respite, and then rotate the crews appropriately.
How many metro units have been diverted to rural areas to assist the rural fire service?
I don't have those figures in front of me, I'm afraid, sorry.
But metro units have been...
Yes, they have. Yeah, absolutely. So they've been drawn from a number of areas across the state.
Has there been any assistance from interstate yet?
No, we haven't called on any assistance from interstate at this point in time. It is certainly a consideration that we have in the back of our mind. But we've certainly looked at parts of the organisation where we can draw from to assist the frontline firefighting work that we're doing. We've done that. We'll continue to do that over the next number of days through until next week. And then if the hot weather continues, if we still continue to get fresh outbreaks, that will have to be assessed as to what it is that we will need in the longer term.
Have those metro units been diverted because the rural units are understaffed?
No, it's a case of trying to get the right mix of appliances to deal with the risk that's happening on the ground. So as you can appreciate, whilst the rural fire service are excellent at fighting bush and grass fires, our fire rescue colleagues have got expertise in providing structural protection. And as you've heard, with 16 houses lost and structural protection that's required to protect those houses, that's the area that we need their help to do that.
So not out of the woods yet?
No, not out of the woods yet. If you could organise some rain for us, that would be great. Thank you. No further questions?
Thank you.
Nothing of DC, Marcus?
Are you able to talk about evacuations?
Oh, yes, certainly I can. Good afternoon, everybody. Ben Marcus from Disaster and Emergency Management with Queensland Police. Thank you, Peter, for a very comprehensive brief. And can I just also thank you guys for getting these important messages through to the community. In terms of evacuations at the moment, we have a total of 267 people in 2 evacuation centres at Dalby and Chinchilla. Yesterday afternoon, we moved the evacuation centre from Tara to Dalby. It has better air quality and it's a larger facility. We have a number of road closures across the network at the moment. These are quite fluid, so we're looking to restore traffic as quickly as we can. I can confirm the Gore Highway is now open. we'd urge the public, please, to, if they are looking at traversing any of those roads, limit your travel to that which is absolutely necessary, and go onto Queensland Traffic website or 13 Roads for updates. As Peter said, we have a number of structures lost. We also have a dwelling in Millmerran that has been lost and a large number of sheds. We have warnings at the moment, leave immediately and not safe to return warnings for Halliford, which is near Dalby, Tara, Wiambilla, Kogan, Goranbar and Waranga. We also have return with caution warnings, which goes to your question, around Cypress Gardens, Millmerran Downs and Millmerran Woods. And what we do in those cases, when we repatriating people to their homes, it's dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and it's done so with the support from the Evacuation Centre. I'm happy to take any questions.
Is there any new details on the investigation into that loss of life?
Yeah, look, sadly, we can confirm, as we did yesterday, we have one adult male who has lost their life as a direct result of the fire. It is an active investigation at the moment, and we are preparing a report for the coroner. I'm very pleased to advise we have no active missing persons reports. All people involved in the fire scene at this stage are accounted for, and either with family or in the evacuation centres.
Have there been any reports of looting in those fire zones?
No, whenever we evacuate areas, we have additional police in the area. We've had no reports of theft or people in the area that shouldn't be in the area, but we do have additional police. We have all local police in the area, and we have supplemented that. We are patrolling 24/7. Okay, look, thank you very much. We will endeavour to keep you up to date. And as I said earlier, thank you for getting these messages through to the community. Thank you.